Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Old Trafford. 2020 has been the year of Bruno. His latest goal at Leicester City meant that he was the first Portuguese player to reach double figures in the Premier League since Cristiano Ronaldo. A knockout signing who has had a hand in over half Manchester United's goals since his arrival, and whose words pack a punch too. He may not wear the armband, but he's the leader of this group. You know what I mean, Harry? Wolves' talisman is missing with a long-term head injury, and without him, goals have been at a bit of a premium. When they do come, they tend to come late, so get comfortable, because the last three blows that Wolves have dished out have all come in the final 5 minutes of matches. Might be in for a long wait tonight. Let's go through the team news, starting with the home team Manchester United, who make 6 changes from their draw with Leicester City on Saturday, live on Talk Sport. David De Gea is their goalkeeper. Aaron Wan-Bissaka returns to the team after picking up an injury. Eric Bailly starts a third game at the heart of defence alongside Harry Maguire, and Alex Telles comes in on the left side of the defence in place of Luke Shaw. Paul Pogba returns to the midfield alongside Nemanja Matic in more of a deeper role. Bruno Fernandes plays in the 10, as you would expect, with 14 goals already to his name this season. And Mason Greenwood and Marcus Rashford flank Edinson Cavani in attack. As far as the substitutes bench is concerned, Henderson, Mata, Martial, Fred, Daniel James, Luke Shaw, Donny van der Beek, Axel Tuanzebe and Scott McTominay on the bench for Manchester United. What about Wolverhampton Wanderers? Well, it's a change of shape again for them. Back to a 3. Patricio is their goalkeeper. Roman Saiz, Connor Cody the captain, and Max Kilman are the back 3. Ki-Jana Hervé makes his first Premier League start since his move from Liverpool in a deal which also took Diego Jota the other way. Ryan Aït-Nouri plays at left wing back. Ruben Neves and João Moutinho are a familiar partnership in midfield, with Vitinha making his first start. All the rest of his Wolverhampton Wanderers appearances have been from the bench, but starts behind Adama Traore and Pedro Neto, an unconventional front duo. John Ruddy, Daniel Podence, Fabio Silva, Nelson Semedo, Luke Cundle, Lewis Richards, Owen Otasawi, Theo Carbenio and Christian Marquez make up a very unexperienced substitutes bench. And before we begin, all 22 players on the field from both clubs on the sidelines as well take the knee, pledging to support the fight against racial injustice. We are underway. It's the final round of Premier League action for Manchester United and Wolves in 2020. Manchester United shooting from left to right in the first half towards the scoreboard end in red shirts, white shorts and black socks, and Wolverhampton Wanderers in the old gold and black shorts shooting towards the Stretford end away to our left. The former Manchester City and England star Trevor Sinclair is with me. Are you expecting Manchester United to make another fast start as they did against Leeds and Leicester? Yeah, they've kept possession nice and early as well, and moving the ball swiftly around. They won the last game 6-2 against Leeds. They should be confident coming into this game. Well, they drew 2-2 Saturday, didn't they? And away at Everton last week, they left it late to see themselves through to the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup. But Alex Telles is trying to swing the ball in and get an early goal, as they did, as Trevor said, against Leeds United the last time they turned out at Old Trafford, where Scott McTominay, who's on the bench tonight, scored 2 goals in the first 3 minutes of the encounter. They certainly started with a sprint against Leeds in their last home game, and they scored the same number of goals in that one game as they had in the rest of their home games in the Premier League so far this season combined. They scored 6 that day. Yeah, I've been impressed with Scott McTominay. The games that I've seen him play, he's got a real energy about him, a desire to affect the game and control the middle of the park. And I've really enjoyed watching him. Interesting to see that as the flag goes up against Adama Traore, as Ki-Jana Hervé sends the ball forward up to him. 2 wingers playing as a narrow pair of central strikers. You've been a winger. How difficult is it to go in and do that job? It's easy. It's easy. Honestly, Sam, you go in there, it's like kind of you can do what you like. It's you enjoy your football. You've not got many things to do out of possession, and you just feel free to do what you want. And
I seen them warming up before the game and they were getting balls into the feet, laying it off and spinning in behind, so I'd expect them to be trying to do that early doors, come into feet, lay it off, hopefully suck a central defender in, and then look to exploit the space in behind.
Ball is on the halfway line with Bruno Fernandes. He sends it down the left. Alex Telles, low cross into the centre, looking for Cavani. Across comes Saiz and sends it behind and away for a corner, the first corner of the game. And it was excellent anticipation from the man who scored the late equaliser in the game against Tottenham Hotspur on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, sharp as attack. I've really been impressed with him. I think everybody has been.
Here is the corner taken short into Rashford, back towards Telles, who is dispossessed over on the far side, and it's chopped out and away for a throw-in. Well, we thought it was going to be a throw-in, but actually the offside flag has gone up, so it's going to be a free kick to Wolverhampton Wanderers away to our right-hand side. Two big goals at the bottom of the league in League One as Burton Albion took the lead over Wigan, but within a minute the visitors have pulled it back. It's 3-3 now in that game in League One, and there's so many games in the EFL tonight. We'll try and keep you up to date with everything that happens across the country on a day that has already seen Arsenal win, Burnley win, Southampton and West Ham draw, and West Bromwich Albion lose 5-0 at home to Leeds United.
Big Sam,
big defeat. Ball headed and chested down by Bailly all the way back to his goalkeeper after a clearance from Rui Patricio. Wolves have lost their last 2 away games, Trevor, in the Premier League. They haven't lost 3 in a row for 8 years in that regard. I just wonder whether or not they're just going through a period of transition. We'll get to that in just a second. Here's Rashford down the left, getting towards the edge of the penalty area, held up by Kijana Hoover. He's got support on the far side from Telles. Telles now attempts to get the cross in. It's an arcing one, aimed in towards Greenwood, headed away by Saiz, controlled by Wan-Bissaka, returning it right back tonight. Tries to take on Kilman into the area. Greenwood lays it back to Fernandes, 10 yards short of the box. He switches the play to the far side, and Manchester United look to attack from the other angle. A flick to Pogba down the left, his ball back into the area for Rashford. Rashford plays a 1-2 with Fernandes. It's intercepted by Saiz, and then Neves and plays it out of the penalty area over on the far side, and it comes out towards the far side where Vitinha tries to get it clear up towards the halfway line. But that was a little bit dangerous, that, for Wolverhampton Wanderers deep inside their own half of the field. Here is Neto up to the left, and Nouri, who guides it back to Kilman, and then Kilman all the way back to Saiz.
Excellent play by Saiz, I have to say. So calm, and I think that's the kind of football that they play, the style of football. They're all very good technically on the ball, and they're confident, and they believe in each other's ability, and it's quite a good brand of football to watch, and I'm sure the Wolves fans are happy with what they're doing.
Coutinho over the halfway line, left of centre is Neto, just trying to flip it into the left channel, asking for Vitinha to chase it. It was just a little bit too ambitious, didn't connect properly with it, and it dribbles behind and away for a goal kick over on the far side. It is 0-0, Manchester United and Wolverhampton Wanderers on TalkSport. Nuno Espirito Santo wrapped up very warm on the near touchline. It's a chilly night in Manchester, down to freezing. The real feel, I always go by the real feel, not the actual temperature, is a lot lower than that. Here is Wan-Bissaka down the right, trying to look for Greenwood to dart in behind. Kilman comes across, and it's all the way back to Saiz. And Saiz a couple of times already has had to nip in and do some dirty work, and he's read the game well. Yeah,
he looks sharp. He looks like he's really at it today, and he's up for the task.
0-0. Here's Nouri on the halfway line for Wolves. And there will be no panic if Wolves do end up conceding. Since the start of the 2018-19 season, they've taken 40 points from losing positions. Only Liverpool and Manchester United have taken more. These are the comeback kings, both of them. 8 minutes gone. You're listening to TalkSport. Ball is on this near side, and it's picked up by Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka to Eric Bailly. Adama Traore, who's playing up front tonight alongside Neto, hasn't scored a goal in the Premier League for a year.
Wow.
The last goal that he scored was live on TalkSport at the end of December last year against Manchester City.
Yeah, he's still young, and we forget about how old he is and that lack of experience that he's got. And I think as you get more experience, that consistency becomes a lot more regular, and you start putting in the performances more often.
Young team, actually, tonight, Wolverhampton Wanderers, as Rashford tries to dance into the penalty area. It comes to Greenwood on the edge of the D. He prods it to the right, looking for Cavani. The interception comes from Kilman, and they manage to clear towards the halfway line. Wolverhampton Wanderers, and Bailly who's looked a little bit cumbersome, I think, in the last couple of games that both Trevor and I have attended, but maybe he's just
well
playing his way into
what is it, his third game on the spin.
In the spin,
yeah, he looks like he's just growing in confidence, and that match sharpness is coming, and he's getting more familiar with the players and the teammates that he's playing with, which will only help his confidence.
Big goal for Luton in the Championship. They lead Bristol City by 1-0. Glenn Ray has scored there. Preston lead Coventry by 1-0. Daniel Johnson on the score sheet. Here it's goalless on Talk Sport, and the ball is on the right with Greenwood as United come forward. Onto his left foot, he comes infield, tries to play it into Cavani. It's a bit behind him, read by Cody. Cody manages to clear. Clipped forward by Maguire over on the far side. Midway inside opposition territory is Tellez. The Portuguese turns and then runs into traffic. So the Brazilian turns, runs into traffic, into a Portuguese in Neves. There's so many of them around tonight, and it's up to Traore on the halfway line, and he wriggles past one defender and then charges into the Manchester United half. He takes on one, then a second, then a third, then plays it square on towards Neto, edge of the penalty area, tries to get a shot away. He comes back infield on his right foot, does eventually hit the target, but it's a tame effort which is easily caught by David De Gea. But there was the first frightening experience the Manchester United defence had of Adama Traore running at them at full pelt.
Yeah, he goes from 40 miles an hour to 0 in a split second, and if you can't match that as a defender, if your brakes are not as good as his, he's going to leave you for dead, and that's exactly what he did there as he dribbled through the Manchester United defence. The pass was just a little bit behind Neto, obviously he could have got his shot off earlier, but it's a decent strike, but very comfortable for De Gea. But nice bright start again. You know, this is the way they play their football. They keep possession.
Greenwood played in behind the Wolves defence down the left channel. He's received the ball ahead of Saïs, gets it back to Rashford, who shot a dipping one towards the far corner, but it bounced in between goalkeeper and final defender, and Cavani couldn't get there, and it whipped behind and away for a goal kick away to our right. And Manchester United had a real stutter of a start to the season at home. They went quite a long time without winning here, but they will be hoping that that has passed. They had that debacle against Tottenham earlier in the campaign as well, which they want to put behind them. Both teams have started this one rather brightly. 0-0 the score. You're listening to Talk Sport. It's Kilman up towards the halfway line, on to Neto turning and firing it back to the central of the three defenders at the heart of the Wolves back line in Roman Saïs. It's whipped forward very quickly to Neves, who shoots it out wide towards the right. Hervé back in field towards Traore. Hervé has stayed up quite high up the pitch, and as they try to switch it through Neves out to the left and Nouri, it's cut out by Wan-Bissaka, who just didn't have the legs to get across the pitch.
Yeah, I thought he just forced that a little bit. There was other options on, and he tried to force it out, and it was an easy interception by Bailly in the end.
Here is Neto charging down the left. He's 4 yards in from the touchline. He's faced up by Bailly, comes infield, gives it to Moutinho, swept out towards the far side, and Cody takes it on, prods it into the path of Kijana Hervé, the Dutchman, only 18 years of age. On the edge of the area is Vitinha, trying to twist away from the attentions of Paul Pogba, and then it comes to Moutinho, and it's worked out wide to Kilman. Kilman prods it on, out towards the left. It's Nouri trying to take on Wan-Bissaka and Greenwood. Greenwood's got back there to help out his defence, and Wan-Bissaka got the ball back and then almost conspired to give it straight back to Wolverhampton Wanderers. He's won a throw-in on this near side, the Manchester United right, and it remains goalless after nearly 11 minutes. Trevor Sinclair.
I've been impressed with Wolves. I thought they've dictated play a little bit with possession. They've moved the ball, they've probed down one side and then twisted the ball over and switched it over to the other side.
They've won it here from Pogba, and here comes Vitinha shooting from distance, and it's spilt by David De Gea at the first attempt. Hit him on the slate grey body of his jersey and bounced in front of the 6-yard area. He gobbled it up very quickly and bowled it out to the far side.
Yeah, I think the five at the back, the formation seems to be comfortable with the players. They seem to know where they're supposed to be, and everyone seems quite happy with their role in the team.
It's a difficult one from Vitinha because it just bounced about half a yard in front of David De Gea, and they're the ones that can sometimes fox a goalkeeper.
It's a little bit drier than it usually is in Manchester, so it makes it a little bit easier.
You weren't here this morning when it was snowing. There was more than a light dusting this morning. Here is Kijana Hervé out towards this near side, chested down by Nouri, interception by Greenwood, and now Wan-Bissaka takes over, and he just starts to bundle forward and then hesitates, back heels the ball into space really for Greenwood, and then a Hollywood ball is attempted by Pogba, but it was closer to Hollywood than Marcus Rashford, and goes all the way through to Rui Patricio. Wolverhampton Wanderers actually haven't had a particularly good season in terms of defence, and their style has been built on a firm defence and those rapid raids forward. And here's one from Adama Traore. He's got the better of Bailly down the left-hand side. He's set the ball to the edge of the penalty, a step over, comes back to Neves, who shoots, punched away by David De Gea. Neves shooting from outside the box, as you would imagine most of his goals come from there. But here's Neto down the right-hand side, now getting it onto his left footer, blocked by Harry Maguire, and it's repelled out to the far side, and Wolves putting a bit of pressure on here against Manchester United, 0-0.
Yeah, good strike by Neves, really fierce. I don't think De Gea wanted to risk trying to catch that because he was really moving. It was a good height for him, a comfortable save, but he didn't want to risk trying to catch that. But good play by Traore. A little bit of a mistake, I feel, by Bailly. He could have dealt with that situation better and got it back to De Gea. He didn't really deal with it, and that was what gave him the opportunity to win the ball back.
Talking of rapid raids, here's one from Manchester United. They picked the ball up over on the far side and very quickly shunted it forward. It's on from Fernandes onto Pogba, and now Wan-Bissaka back to Pogba down the right-hand side. A little touch from Ait-Nouri just slows the attack. It comes off Kilman as Manchester United trying to progress down the right touchline, and it just dribbles away the wrong side of the corner flag as far as they're concerned, and out for a throw-in deep inside Wolves territory.
I think there's one thing obvious in this game. There's no fear with this Wolves side. They've not come here thinking, oh, we're going to get destroyed here, or we won't get a touch of the ball. They've been very confident in possession, and like I said, there are a lot of technical players who love having the ball to the feet, and they've looked after it really well.
Wan-Bissaka from Pogba. Pogba gets it back to Wan-Bissaka, who then goes centrally to Matic, who decides to go backwards rather than forwards, and United start to build again from the halfway line with Alex Telles, his hair tightly wound on top of his head into a bun, back to the left, and Greenwood, then Rashford now on this right side, attacking the right angle of the penalty area is Wan-Bissaka to Fernandes, a little touch inside, a 1-2 with Greenwood onto Cavani, who then tried to flick it through to Rashford, but wasn't aware that he wasn't quite in position, and the ball was cleared away by Ait-Nouri off Greenwood and out for a throw-in level with the edge of the 18-yard box. John Moss is our referee, by the way, today. John, who owns he did own before the pandemic, a vinyl record shop and cafe in Sheffield. We'll have to take you there.
Lovely.
Cracking little place. And I heard today, actually, that sales of vinyl records have gone up to their highest level since 2007.
Wow.
I must admit, I've got one or two over Christmas period. Middlesbrough have got a goal back against Sheffield Wednesday in the Championship, 2-1 the score there. In League One, Wigan have remarkably taken the lead against Burton. It's 4-3 in that game now. In League Two, Barrow nil, Tranmere 1. James Vaughan with his 10th league goal of the season. Forest Green have pulled one back against Crawley, 1-1 there. And Leyton Orient lead Southend by a 1-0. You're listening to TalkSport over on TalkSport 2 right now. It's Stoke City against Nottingham Forest with Neil Redfern and Steve Hothersall. Here comes Pedro Neto over on the far side for Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Little 1-2 off the ref there.
I think they're supposed to stop the game when that happens. Anyway, here is Ait-Nouri trying to cross from the near side. It bounces off the back of Wan-Bissaka and goes out for a throw-in midway between the edge of the penalty area and the goal line.
John Moss might have a stinging hip tomorrow or tonight when he gets in the shower.
Yeah. It's in Headingley. I said Sheffield, didn't I? I meant Leeds. It's in Headingley. The
fighting talk.
Yeah. Do you know what it's called?
No.
The Vinyl Whistle.
Oh dear, that's not bad actually.
You like that, don't you? Hey? That's his cafe, the Vinyl Whistle. Here's Connor Cody on the halfway line for Wolverhampton Wanderers. The score is Manchester United 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0. On TalkSport, we're bringing you, we hoped to have brought you 10 games from this round of fixtures. Danny Mills and I were held up last night. We didn't get to do Everton against Manchester City because of the COVID outbreak at Manchester City, and I noticed today there's a lot more coronavirus positive tests in the Premier League than there ever has been since we restarted. 18 today. So what that means, we shall see over the next coming days. There's a lot of reports about tomorrow's match between Fulham and Tottenham. Nothing confirmed as yet. 0-0 the score here. Manchester United against Wolves. We'll also bring you Newcastle-Liverpool tomorrow. Cavani trying to get round the back of the Wolves defence. An elegant little ball by Fernandes. Spotted that run. He just about keeps it in, but then can't stop the ball dead as he'd hoped, and it just dribbles over the white line and goes out for a goal kick to Wolverhampton Wanderers.
I'm just watching Ole Gunnar Solskjaer there, and you can see he's not happy with the balance of this game. Wolves are playing out far too easily from the back, and the last time Wolves had the ball, all the Manchester United players pressed and the ball went into Traore, and off his chest Harry Maguire won the ball back, and I think that's what they want to try and force him to do by pressing high, going long to a centre forward that's not used to that position, and trying to nick it off his foot to win possession back again.
Greenwood approaching the penalty area, right side, goes in field to Bruno Fernandes, gets it back again to Wan-Bissaka. Fernandes swoops across towards the far post. It's too high for Rashford, headed out by Ki-Jana Hervé, and it's out and away for a throw-in to Manchester United deep inside Wolves territory. And Wolverhampton Wanderers, who have got 8 games now since they last kept a clean sheet. It's unheard of, really. As Northampton take the lead against Gillingham in League One, 1-0 there. Here's the cross from Telles in towards the near post. It's half cleared by Saiz, comes back to Fernandes, who strikes it first time, blocked by his compatriot Neves. It spills out into the left wing back position, and it's cleared away by Ait Nouri and high into towards the director's box, but it actually hits the back of the dugouts and stops any of the dignitaries getting involved in any of the dirty work. Here's Wan-Bissaka trying to play a 1-2 on the edge of the box. That was a little bit late from Wan-Bissaka, and he's brought down Neves, and Neves is not at all comfortable.
No.
Kissing the ground.
Bit of a yelp there from him. He'll be alright, but it was one of them where he's got there first thinking, I've got there a little bit too early, and Wan-Bissaka just left a couple of studs on him. Not intentional. I think Wan-Bissaka slipped, and John Moss has deemed that just a foul and free kick to Wolves. But Wolves have got to be able to adapt. So when Manchester United press high, they've got to be able to play better quality into Traore, and when they drop off, that's when they can get the neat patterns of play going, and that's going to evolve throughout the game, yin and yang.
What do you think of Paul Pogba playing in that central midfield position alongside Matic tonight?
Well, we've not seen much of him up to now. He's tried a couple of worldy balls which haven't come off. He's got to be disciplined. You know, I think that's the main thing when you're playing in that holding midfield role. You've got to be disciplined. You can't be trying them World Cup willy balls. You've got to be reliable on the ball so to keep possession.
Neves has just got a little piece. Bruno Fernandes, who's gingerly getting back to his feet. The ball is on the left-hand side with Alex Telles. Telles flicks it out to the left, tries to lay it off to Rashford. Rashford now will come in field. 0-0 the score on Talk Sport. Harrogate against Carlisle has been abandoned midway through the first half. It was 1-0 to Harrogate, but it's been abandoned due to bad weather.
Wow, it does get bad weather up there, I'm telling you, Cumbria. My God.
Harrogate? That's not Cumbria.
Harrogate? Oh, sorry, I thought it was Carlisle.
We've got to go past Harrogate tomorrow on our way to Newcastle.
That's going to be cold.
Here's a little nutmeg from Vitinha through Pogba's legs onto Traore, who's racing over the halfway line, down towards the edge of the penalty area. He cuts back, gives it to Neto. Neto's 5 yards back from the edge of the 18-yard box where he finds Ait Nouri, and it goes infield to Matinho, and Wolves retreat to the halfway line. 0-0 the score here. Ball is out wide on the right with Ki-Jana Hervé, back through Cody, on to Romain Saiz, who had to make a couple of early interventions in this game but hasn't really had much to do in the last 10 minutes or so. And as we reach the 20-minute mark, it has been Wolverhampton Wanderers who have looked the most likeliest to test David De Gea. Neves' strike after 13 minutes, certainly the highlight so far. Here's Kilman tiptoeing his way forward, then clipping it down the left, inviting Ait Nouri to chase. Ait Nouri gets beyond the last defender, low crosses the near post, looking for the run of Traore, but away from Maguire and cleared towards the halfway line by Manchester United. It remains goalless. Trevor Sinclair.
Yeah, excellent play again by Saiz. You know, they're coming out with the ball very confident. He's picking the right pass. Released Ait Nouri down the left-hand side, and his cross, I'd like to see him just miss that first man and put it into that second 6-yard box area. And the earlier run by Traore down through the centre, and he ended up veering to the left. Neves again was in an excellent position on the right. It went left, and if it could have got transferred right, he was in a similar position about 20 yards out on the edge of the box. You can see that's a pattern of play that they're familiar with, and they're trying to reproduce it again.
Stoke lead Nottingham Forest by 1-0 over on TalkSport 2 with Steve Hoffesall and Neil Redfern. You can listen to TalkSport 2 pretty easy. Download the app. Swipe left for TalkSport 2. When you first log into the app, you'll see TalkSport there on the screen in front of you. Just press play. Enjoy. It's all free. It's our little Christmas gift to you.
Good play by Neto there. The ball came into him. Good ball into him. Right side, wrong side for Harry Maguire. He tried to go fishing and win the ball, and he's fouled him.
Wasn't much in it, was there? I mean, Harry Maguire's coming from the wrong side. That's the problem.
Exactly. And that's because when you think about the detail of the pass, it's to the right side of him where the defender can't compete for it. He has tried to go fishing to nick it off his foot, give the foul away, and it's a great position for Wolves. Free kick.
It's good for João Moutinho, who's very good at dripping the ball in from this sort of range. It's about 8 or 9 yards in front of the centre circle, a shade right of centre. He's got 4 or 5 old gold jerseys to aim at on the edge of the penalty area. It's whipped in towards Saiss, who flicks the ball goalwards and hits the top of the crossbar, and there might have been a touch on it. No, John Moss has given a goal kick.
Yeah, good header, as you would imagine. Moutinho, great delivery into the second 6-yard box, in and around the penalty spot. He gets a good purchase on it, just a little bit too high to fall in under that bar. I think De Gea probably had that covered.
Yeah, I think he did have it covered,
I'm not sure he touched it.
It did kiss the top of the crossbar, didn't it? No, yeah. I don't think he did it. And that was what John Moss said straight afterwards. It was a goal kick. I think if it had just nestled a yard lower, then he would have flapped that away.
Yeah, it was a comfortable situation for De Gea there. But again, promising. That's the 4th shot they've had. 2 on target, 2 off target, so good start for Wolves.
Yeah, good start for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Wasn't such a great start for West Bromwich Albion tonight. When you do watch that back, you will notice one of the worst own goals got them started.
He's a good footballer as well, remains Sawyer. Just that misunderstanding between him and the goalkeeper, and it's gone straight in.
It got worse after that for me, Sam. Here's Rashford over on the far side towards the edge of the area, poked wide by Fernandes. Telles with a deep cross. It's going to be too heavy, that, and plucked out of the sky by Rui Patricio in a bright highlighter green jersey tonight. As he throws it out to Traore, it's pinched by Eric Bailly. It was a good take by him. Pogba then continued the charge, pushed it forward. Here is Wan-Bissaka, right side. Red boots on tonight. Plays it out towards the touchline. Just in from the linesman on this near side is Mason Greenwood. Greenwood, who's back in the starting 11 tonight. He played all 4 games against Wolves last season. Hasn't scored for a while. Only 3 goals to his name this campaign, which has been an interrupted first half of the campaign for Mason Greenwood for a variety of different reasons.
He's a young man, isn't he? He's going to make mistakes. It's how he recovers and how he responds to mistakes. 19 years of age. Yeah. Here is Telles. Huge talent there. Really like him as a player. Great finisher, isn't he? Yeah, so clinical. I mean, both feet as well. When you've got that to your armoury, you've got a real chance of scoring a lot of goals. Well, I remember Gareth Southgate telling me that the first thing he did when Mason Greenwood joined up with the seniors was ask him, what is your favourite what is your favourite side? He said, a compliment in itself, isn't it? I don't really have one, to be honest with you. I'm comfortable on either, Gaffer. Blessed. 25 minutes gone. Here is Maguire in the centre circle, sliding it forward to Bruno Fernandes, back to the captain, who then tries to chip it out towards the left. Good stop by Telles into the path of Rashford, who looks to run at Kijana Hervé. Held up by the Dutchman. Fernandes' return pass to Telles doesn't quite come off, and Wolves can look to break here. Over on the far side, Pedro Neto looking to sprint clear. Can't get on the end of it, and it goes all the way through to Harry Maguire again. Currently Manchester United 0, Wolves 0 on TalkSport, and for the latest odds you can head to Betfair, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage, where right now you can get Manchester United to win the game at 7-5 on. The draw is 14-5, or you can back Wolves win at 11-2. That's all thanks to Betfair. More ways to bet, more ways to win. 18+, gambleaware.org. Here is Rashford for Manchester United on the attack in those smart red jerseys, moving towards the angle of the penalty area. He flips the ball on the outside of the defender, low cross into the near post, keeps hold of it well, tries to tee it up for Greenwood, intercepted by Moutinho, half cleared by Wolves, back in by Matic, looking for Cavani, glances a header, doesn't really connect properly with it, and it goes behind and away for a goal kick. Yeah, excellent play by Rashford down that left hand side. gets right to the byline and looks like he's going to cross it in with his left foot, stops it on a dime, loses Hoever, who can't stop at the same kind of speed, and then tries to angle a side-footed pass straight to Fernandes, and it was intercepted. I actually feel Wolverhampton Wanderers have defended really well, and that was a dangerous situation, and even then they managed to clear that up quite comfortably.
I think he was offside, just narrowly offside as well when the ball came in. Cavani, who is a real threat, he's got movement and nous, which is an upgrade on Martial, or his movement and nous is an upgrade on Martial. Not to say that Martial hasn't got any, but he's certainly better in that regard. He will score goals, he always has scored goals. 104 and 138 for Napoli as the ball goes into the other penalty area, with Wolves on the attack now. Aït-Nouri collects it left side, back to Neto inside the box, pulls it back towards the edge of the 6-yard area, away by Bailly, comes back to Aït-Nouri, and his shot almost hits the corner flag.
Again, no bright play. You know, they've got it to the byline. They've not panicked and just pumped it into the box. They've tried to work it in. Some nice little 1 and 2 touch passing. They've got the ball out just towards the edge of the 18-yard box, and the shot's just a little bit off balance there by Nouri. But positive play again, and you know that's 5 shots now they've had, and this is a concern for Manchester United, because the more this continues, the more chance they've got of conceding.
Maguire has it, taking it from defence out towards the far side. Manchester United do concede quite a lot of goals, really. They especially like to come from behind. Most of that happens away from home, in truth, but they've offered a few opportunities to Wolverhampton Wanderers tonight already. Saiss has hit the bar, Neves has had a strike which has been stopped by David De Gea. Here is Wan-Bissaka for Manchester United, down the right, back in to Greenwood to Bailly now to Fernandes. Fernandes goes out wide to the right. Wan-Bissaka towards the edge of the area. It's into the chest of Moutinho and taken out on this near side when it's cleared away. Interception by Bailly. Wasn't a great ball. Into Greenwood, first touch. And then again, Greenwood felt it was foul, but Cavani's done that a couple of times. He's just tried to just flick it off when it's come into him. Tries to be quite instinctive, but it hasn't worked as of yet.
No, and Neto on the earlier one, he's got to check his run and be an option for that out ball. He kind of just jogs along next to the fullback, and he doesn't give the player on the ball a pass. He's got to check, and that's what natural centre forwards do. They look to go in behind, and then they check, get the 1 to feet, and then you can start and build from there.
Big goal in the Championship for Wycombe. They lead Cardiff by 1-0 in League One. Wigan have beaten Burton Albion by 4-3. Northampton have doubled their lead at home to Gillingham. There's EFL commentary tonight on TalkSport 2. And Stoke against Nottingham Forest. Chris Hughton will be hoping that changes. Michael O'Neill's team 1-0 up so far in that game. Elsewhere earlier today, Arsenal victors over Brighton away from home. Burnley beat Sheffield United 1-0. Southampton drew with West Ham United 0-0. And West Brom were beaten at home by Leeds by 5-0. Manchester United 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0. Here's the latest scoreline from Old Trafford on a cold night, frosty night here in Manchester, where we've had a bit of fog as well overlaying the approach to the ground. Here is Fernandes, far side is Rashford. Rashford just dribbles towards the edge of the penalty area, slows up his run, goes back to Fernandes, then out to Telles, who'll whip a cross in, aim towards Cavani, too close to the goalkeeper, and it's caught by Rui Patricio, who immediately looks to dispatch again quickly upfield, trying to find Traore.
I'm not sure that's on there. You know, he's against Harry Maguire, one of the best headers of the ball, and he's never going to allow that ball to bounce.
Fernandes looking for the run of Rashford in behind. Saiss reacts brilliantly, heads it away. Cavani puts pressure on Moutinho as he attempts to clear. It's collected on the far side by Neves. Moutinho back out to Hervé. Hervé tries to turn and fire it to Cody. Cody just dropping deeper and just commanding from the back. Such a good talker, Conor Cody. It's been talked about a lot ever since his England debut, where his Scouse accent echoed around the Parken Stadium, but he is in command of that back battalion.
Not just him, I think Saiss as well. He's very vocal, you can hear him.
Here come Manchester United after Wolves have conspired to give the ball back to the home team. Greenwood from Wan-Bissaka. Greenwood approaching the edge of the area, blocked by Kilman. Cleared up towards the halfway. Pedro Neto went down there, claiming that he was fouled, holding on to his face, and Nemanja Matic immediately screamed at him to get up on the floor. I must admit, I'm about 50 yards away from it, and even I thought from here, He's not gone down for that, sure.
He has caught him, but I don't think there's any malice in it from Matic. Matic has just stood his ground, and I think Neto just ran into him. John Moss is having a look at the situation now. As he turns, there's a little bit in it. I mean, he does put his arm out to catch him. I don't think the contact's too heavy, but there is a little bit in it from Matic, and he's gone down quite easily there.
My son shot me harder with a Nerf gun earlier. The score's Manchester United 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0. They hurt on TalkSport with Now TV. Don't forget you can watch Manchester United versus Aston Villa live this Friday with the Now TV Sky Sports Pass for just $9.99. Search Now TV.
I've just looked at the possession. I'm quite surprised Manchester United have had 57% possession, because for me a lot of the better opportunities and the better play has been from Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Yeah, they just had a lot of the ball in the middle of the park, haven't they, Manchester United, without really creating a clear-cut opportunity so far in the game.
Yeah, they don't look threatening at the moment, and every time they get the ball in wide areas, you look across the in the box and you see Kilman, Cody and Says. What's the point in putting it in there, because they are units of guys.
Well, so far this season they won just 2 of their 7 Premier League games here at Old Trafford, Manchester United. Only Fulham, West Brom, Brighton and Sheffield United have won fewer on their own patch. Here comes Rashford for Manchester United, looking to try and rectify that situation. Pogba tries to return it, deep ball into the area, didn't quite connect with it, Marcus Rashford, and then it went out of play. He was dragged to the floor by Cody. He slams the floor in frustration. Well, Wolves continue, but eventually John Moss blows his whistle and gives the goal kick, which the linesman on the near side had already given about 3 minutes ago. Yeah,
great centre-forward play by Marcus Rashford. He comes off, lays the ball back to Paul Pogba, spins in behind, and without Paul Pogba even looking at the area, he's just put a lofted ball, which is never going to run out of play, on the angle, and it's just Marcus Rashford's first touch lets him down, and he tries to receive it, and the linesman said it just went out of play. But good movement, and that's what it's going to take, because this back 5 of Wolves look really disciplined and are defending very well.
Did it go out?
I didn't think it did, but the linesman said it did.
And if it didn't go out, did Cody wrestle him to the floor? I don't think it went out.
Maybe just went out. So the latter movement is null and void.
Should VAR have checked for that?
Can they check for that if the referee blows a whistle?
He hadn't blown the whistle at the time though, had he?
No.
Here on the right side, Greenwood has the ball, moving towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Left-footed, decent-looking cross. Fernandes is there, saved down low by the goalkeeper. Overhead kick attempted by Cavani, couldn't execute it properly, and it screws behind and goes out for a goal kick. And Wolves are mightily relieved. And Rui Patricio's pulled off a very good save from Bruno Fernandes. I think it might have been just behind Fernandes. Didn't get a proper contact on the ball, but it should have been 1-0 Man United.
Yeah, Bruno will be disappointed. He should gobble that up. I mean, it's an absolutely delicious cross just into the edge of the 6-yard box. Bruno's wrong side of his defender. He doesn't really get a great purchase on the ball. It's one of them balls where you just feel it in. There's not really any pace on it, but it's in a great area. Patricio can't come for that, and it's a fantastic opportunity. And yeah, looking back at that, you'd expect Bruno to finish that. Should be 1-0 to Manchester United.
It was a delicious cross, wasn't it, towards the far post. Picked him out beautifully, and he brought it down, first touch into the goalkeeper's legs, and it's a good save by Rui Patricio, 4 yards away from his compatriot Bruno Fernandes. Greenwood with the ball.
And that's the problem Rory's got, because Mason Greenwood is two-footed. He doesn't want to show him inside on his left, which he put it in with his left foot there. It was an absolutely lovely cross, but if he shows him down the line, he'll take the line as well. So for a defender, that's a huge problem that Greenwood's posing him, being able to run at him and go either way and be very comfortable with his delivery.
Traore wants a foul after Alex Telles and he getting a tangle over on the far side. Manchester United play on here. Well, not too many goals around in the Premier League today, and there hasn't been one here yet. 10 minutes to go before half-time. You're listening to Talk Sport, live and exclusive national radio coverage of 10 games in this round of matches, and 9 after the postponement yesterday, but we'll get the other one back again. Don't you worry about that, it'll be on Talk Sport. Trevor and I will fight for it.
We will.
And tomorrow night we've got Tottenham and Fulham. That's 5:30, and straight after that, live and exclusive coverage of Newcastle versus Liverpool. What odds on 4-3? Big ones.
Oh, they were some classics.
Big ones.
Some classics, though.
I think the Newcastle fans would be delighted if they scored 3 goals. Here is Maguire over the halfway line, just left of the centre circle, out towards the left, and Tellez now moving forward, touching the ball infield. Was there a foul by Hervé? Referee has allowed play on here because Manchester United have the ball. Rashford onto Fernandes, plays the return. John Moss had played the advantage, so wants to check on Alex Tellez as the ball spills behind and goes out for a goal kick. He just wants to make sure that Tellez is okay. It might take action against Kylian Hervé. Over on that far side, just a little word in his ear.
Got away with it.
He just trod on his foot, didn't he?
It's a nasty one. I don't think there's any intention. He just got there a little bit late. But when you start considering how cold it is today, that will be sore. I mean, I think his toes will be numb after that.
I'm just thinking about my toes and how I'd feel. Not great.
At times like that, you do think, it's quite nice being retired.
It's great watching. It's great to be here tonight, actually.
Oh, yeah.
You know, once again, we were in this vast stadium. We wish that there was 75,000 Manchester United and Wolverhampton Wanderers supporters here with us. That might not happen for a while yet, but we'll keep crossing our fingers. Here is Rashford over on the far side, or through the legs of the defender, then on to Bruno Fernandes, edge of the box, goes down inside the area under pressure from João Moutinho, glances at John Moss, looks for a foul, referee says play on, and Wolves bring the ball away. VAR will have a look at it. It's picked up on the far side by Adama Traore, poked out wide to Neto. Neto comes forward for Wolves, and then Harry Maguire stands in his way, gives away a free kick in agricultural fashion.
Wow.
And the free kick is given right on the edge of the penalty area for Wolverhampton Wanderers, and Harry Maguire goes storming back into the 18-yard box, disappointed that at the other end Rashford didn't get a penalty. Yeah,
I think the Rashford won it. The ball, he'd done what he wanted to do with the ball, and he kind of almost just fell into the play. The player can't move out the way and disappear. And I actually think a little bit like the same one there with Neto. He's played the ball. Oh, that nutmeg was lovely from Rashford. And he's almost jumped over the defender. But the one for Maguire there, the foul he's given against Neto, similar fashion. He's gone to go for the ball. Neto just moved the ball and he's kind of ran into him.
So why is it different at one end in the penalty area and just outside at the other?
Well, yeah, good question. I think it's an easier one to give when it's outside the box.
Free kick then on the far side for Wolverhampton Wanderers. There's a two-man Manchester United wall. This free kick is at a 45-degree angle to David De Gea's goal from the Wolverhampton Wanderers' right. They might set it back for Neves on the edge of the area here. No, they go to the near post. Flicked on by Saiz, saved by goalkeeper David De Gea, who pushed it round the post. It was whipped in towards the near post by Neto. Saiz made a dart to the edge of the 6-yard box, put it out of foot, and it was so close to being 1-0 Wolverhampton Wanderers. David De Gea with a save.
Yeah, great save. That's a poor free kick to concede, as in the area that you're letting the ball come into. You've got to have someone in that near post space. It's too easy to concede from there. It's an excellent save by De Gea, but that shouldn't be happening. They need to organise that Manchester United.
He's been allowed to curve his run quite far as well. He travelled without any challenge.
And it's not even a high ball. It's a low ball. It's such a simple task for them to get the ball into a dangerous area there.
Back in by Neto, chipped towards the far post this time. Not a great delivery. It's going to bounce out of play, and it's away for a goal kick to Manchester United. We've got just over 5 and a bit minutes to go here on Talk Sport in the first half of this Premier League match, the last Premier League match of 2020 for Manchester United and Wolves. Manchester United have got another one very shortly. New Year's Day they play here against Aston Villa, and in form Aston Villa.
Yeah, it's going to be a difficult game that. Watched them display excellent against Chelsea at times, especially in the second half, and Dean Smith's got them playing really well. They've got some key players, everyone's confident, and I'm sure they'll come here to Old Trafford and really want to get one over on them.
I thought Bertrand Traore in the second half was very good. Getting back and helping out his defender as well.
So good.
He did very, very well at that. I think first half he left him a bit helpless at times, but second half he was much better.
It just makes me a bit envious, when I see them dreadlocks flowing.
Good looking fella as well, isn't he? Not a bad footballer either. The ball is sent out towards the near side. It's up towards Rashford trying to get above the defender Aït-Nouri, but I think he used his arm, so a free kick is given. In League 2 tonight, Leyton Orient have doubled their lead over Southend, 2-0 there. Crawley leading Forest Green by 2-1. Scunthorpe have scored to give themselves the lead over Walsall. And following his side's 5-0 defeat to Leeds, Sam Allardyce has told TalkSport in the last half an hour that he was embarrassed by the performance. A big interview coming up at half-time on TalkSport 1 you will not want to miss.
he could be busy come January if he's not happy with his players that he's got at his disposal. Well, I'm sure before he took that job, he must have said, I need some dough. Because if we don't get dough, we're going down. Simple as.
Yeah. It certainly doesn't look great after that performance. I mean, they go to Liverpool, did so well on Boxing Day, or the day after Boxing Day. And, he will be disappointed with that tonight. There's a bit of a worry here about Rayan Aït-Nouri, who seems to have got a head collision, which has just sort of left him a little bit groggy on the near touchline. They're assessing him now, but obviously with their recent history with head injuries, they won't take any chances.
No, he looked a bit dazed to me. It was quite a heavy challenge, and he hit the ground quite hard. It looked like he wasn't in control, so sometimes when that happens, you do wonder if he's lost consciousness. And just looking at the medical staff now, talking to him, it does look like he's okay and he's going to be reintroduced. And I think that's why Mr. Moss, our referee, Jonathan Moss, stopped the game. Not that it was a foul. I think he was stopping the game because he thought there was a head injury, and that's excellent officiating from the referee.
Paul Tierney, who is the fourth official, has just come out towards the near touchline to speak to John Moss, who's going to give a drop ball away to our left. Sir Alex Ferguson is in the stands watching tonight, wearing a grey and claret checked flat cap and a Manchester United face mask in the stands. It did take me a little while actually to spot that he was here. David Gill also watching on. Manchester United against Wolverhampton Wanderers is still goalless, and there is a chill in the air, and when the players are breathing you can see their breath against the cold evening sky here.
It's like they've been on the Woodbines.
You might have to explain that for a younger audience. Here is Cavani bringing the ball down inside Wolverhampton Wanderers' half. He tries to thrust it forward, but it's away by Kilman up towards Traore. He tries to use his body strength to shrug off Maguire. That was a heavyweight collision, wasn't it, between the two? A free kick is eventually given in Wolves' favour.
I think Traore's got to do that. He's got to try and use his body, because he's not going to win balls in the area against Harry Maguire. So he needs to try and get physical, get a little bit of contact between him and Harry Maguire to put Harry Maguire off winning that first contact. He did that really well there. The ball bounced up, he got his body in, and then it's only one person's ball. He's so strong.
It was a bit of a fight, wasn't it, that? Here's Bruno Fernandes at the other end, lifting the ball over the top of the Wolves defence, and Rashford is racing in behind. He has to check because they were catching up with him, and he's stopped it on the left edge of the area. Fernandes has joined now into the box, looking for Cavani, flashed through the 6-yard area. It's missed everybody and gone over the other side. Wan-Bissaka rescues it. Still the Manchester United attack continues, and Wan-Bissaka sends it central onto Matic. Referee gets in the way momentarily, but still Cavani is able to pick it up. Now it's with Bruno Fernandes, back out wide to Telles. Telles with a chance to cross. He does, in towards Greenwood, and he's beaten to it by Kilman, who came across on the blind side of Greenwood, who wasn't entirely sure about what was coming in his wing mirrors, and it's cleared by Wolves, but only as far as Fernandes. A good tackle by João Moutinho, and then they sprint away with Pedro Neto, far side, but look who's free on the other side. It's Traore, and he tries to pick him out, can't do so because Bailly comes across and intervenes. But what a lightning quick counter-attack that was by both, from one end to the other. Fernandes to Rashford. Manchester United went on the charge, and then Wolves did the same to them.
Yeah, they left themselves a little bit short there, Manchester United, but again, excellent play, movement in behind by Rashford. That's the only time that this Wolves side looked troubled at the back, when Rashford makes them forward movements, breaking lines, getting in behind that defence, which a lot of the time the ball doesn't come, but he keeps on making them, and when he gets picked out, that's when the problems start for Manchester United.
Neto down the right from Moutinho's pass into the penalty area, charging into the box. He's faced up Harry Maguire. He's gone inside. Does he go down after a little touch? He's certainly tangling with the two United defenders now. Eric Bailly's come across and managed to get Maguire out of the hole, and across comes Matic to get it clear. It's an open end to the first 45 minutes. Nuno Espirito Santo complaining about that as Marcus Rashford gets in behind again, and he's beyond Saiz into the area. His first touch is a poor one, I think the offside flag was going to go up anyway, but Rui Patricio's come running out and gobbled it up before Rashford could get it under control. The score's Manchester United 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0 on TalkSport with WeBuyAnyCar.com. Sell your car in under an hour, leaving you with more time to enjoy the football. We certainly enjoyed that passage of play.
Oh, that was excellent goalkeeping, I have to say. Beautiful run again, in behind, hurting that Wolves back three, just going in behind them, causing a problem, especially when they're squeezed up. There's so much space. He was always going to get there first, but the ball was in his mid-drift, so he had to kind of do it at match tempo, get it out of his feet with his knee, and Patricio anticipated that so well, and as it came off his knee, he'd anticipated it, he came up and gobbled it up. Great goalkeeping.
Great end to the first 45 minutes here on TalkSport, as we bring you live and exclusive commentary from all 9 of the games in this round of the Premier League matches on TalkSport, TalkSport 2 and our app. Manchester United's home form hasn't been the best, and Wolves aren't as good as they used to be on the road, so no surprise that at the break it's all square. The best chances early on went to Ruben Neves and Saiss. Saiss hitting the bar with a looping header. Neves' strike from the edge of the penalty area stopped by the goalkeeper, but Bruno Fernandes had a cracking chance 10 minutes before half-time. He didn't convert, so at the break it is Manchester United 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0. Cheers, Hugh. Thank you very much. Yeah, welcome. But there is one player out on the pitch, and that is Luke Shaw, and he's been out for a little while now, so I'm assuming that he will replace Alex Telles, and I wonder if it is anything to do with that incident with Ki-Jana Hervé in the first half, where he stepped on top of Alex Telles' foot about 10 minutes before half-time, Trevor.
Yeah, he might just be feeling that challenge, and said something to the medical staff. And if he's not sure, rather than make the injury worse, maybe they're looking at Shaw to bring him on. He's actually in the technical area. It looks like he's coming on. He's stripped, so it looks like that's going to be the change. So I can only think of that because he wasn't playing particularly badly. So you'd only suggest that it must be an injury problem, and that's why Luke Shaw's being introduced at half-time.
Well, Luke Shaw's actually in the matchday programme today, talking about 2020 being an odd year. He said it's been really exciting for him because he's got a new child, so he's been running around the house trying to deal with being a father for the first time. But also he was talking about Manchester United's home form and how they were scoring goals from open play for fun away from home and winning matches away from home with ease. But at home it's been a very different story, and it's been a very different story so far in this game, Trevor.
It has, yeah. I think Wolves in general have looked very comfortable. I think they've moved the ball, they've got little patterns of play all over the park, played out from the back really well. I think that three at the back is suiting their players, and I think Manchester United need to change it, because at the moment we've not seen Cavani hardly at all in that first half, and we've been raving about him, his performance when he came on against Leicester and when he played against Everton. He's been superb.
Well, here is the change then. Confirmation of Telles coming off and Luke Shaw coming on. So Manchester United in the second half will have De Gea in goal, Wan-Bissaka, Bailly, Maguire and Shaw as the back four, Pogba and Matic holding, Fernandes in the 10, Greenwood and Rashford on the flanks, and Edinson Cavani up front. We're underway at the start of the second half with Manchester United in red shirts, white shorts and black socks attacking the goal away to our left, and the old gold of Wolverhampton Wanderers shooting from left to right towards the scoreboard end. They've got Patricio in goal, Saiss, who's excellent in that first half, Cody and Kilman as the back three, then Hervé, Neves, Moutinho and Aït-Nouri as the midfield quartet, Vitinha playing as the 10 with Traoré and Neto playing as strikers, although Traoré really doing that main job with Neto floating. There has been a foul given against Neves in the corner on the near side for tackling Luke Shaw rather poorly, and a free kick one for Manchester United, almost like a corner on this near side that Manchester United left.
Yeah, really positive play from Luke Shaw. First touch of the ball, he got it out his feet and tested Neves, and Neves couldn't stop the same speed that he could stop, and he fouled him. It's a simple one, and it's a good set-piece situation for Manchester United.
By Cavani, Greenwood all in that penalty area as the ball's floated towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It's flicked away by Ruben Neves after the cross from Fernandes. It's then further cleared by Adama Traoré out into the hoardings on the far side, the big red hoardings that cover the empty seats here. The first tier of most of Old Trafford is covered by the big red, black and white colours of this famous old institution, and then the upper tiers and some of the sort of middle areas are covered with mosaics of pictures of fans that are no longer able to come into the ground. So it does have a very different feel to most of the grounds that you go to, this one, because of the incredible mosaics of the Manchester United fans that come from the scoreboard end and the Stretford end away to our left-hand side. It is 0-0. We've played just over 90 seconds of the second half. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer still in his tracksuit. He has been for a week or so now. He's pitched the suit for a little while. I think he has washed it, by the way. I wasn't suggesting it's the same tracksuit. He's sitting cross-legged at the back of the dugout with his silver hair.
His baby face has disappeared, hasn't it?
He's been manager of Manchester United for 2 years. I think that'll do it. Here's Shaw towards Rashford. Back infield to Rashford again, who runs into traffic, and Neves attempts to clear. Matic comes across, long-limbed and lean, rather slender, pokes the ball clear out to the near side, and now it's on to Shaw. Shaw, a little over from Fernandes, attempting to let it run through to Rashford, but it dribbled out of play, and it's away for a goal kick on this, throw-in on this near side.
Good idea from Bruno there. He just got his angles slightly wrong, and the ball went out of play for a throw-in.
He's alright, isn't he? He's okay.
Yeah.
Bruno, he's alright.
He's not bad.
2020 has been a relative success for Manchester United, pretty much thanks to him. 31 goal involvement since his debut. Just 3 of his last 10 goals have actually been penalties. Everyone says he only scores penalties. He doesn't. But he's missed the big chance that Manchester United created in that first 45 minutes. Here comes Herver on the right side for Wolverhampton Wanderers, looking to get over the halfway line, and chops back after running into a clutch of red jerseys just on the cusp of the centre circle, and guides it back towards Cody. It's then floated forward by Saiss, aimless, headed back by Luke Shaw into the arms of his goalkeeper.
Yeah, he's just on a different wavelength there. It was a good idea for the cross-field ball from the centre half over Luke Shaw. It was under hit and quite comfortable for Luke Shaw in the end.
In the Championship, Huddersfield has scored at home to Blackburn by 1-0. Sheffield Wednesday got a new manager yet, by the way?
Oh dear.
You'll definitely get that job. I mean, you only get it for 40 days, but you could, why not?
Who'd bother though?
Why not?
Who'd bother? It's just I think it's a lack of understanding of football. Well, the fact that they're going through managers at the speed they are.
It happens. Here is Maguire out to the near side. Shaw cutting in from the left touchline back towards the halfway line, and Matic. Manchester United 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0. Wolves unbeaten in the last 4 league games with Manchester United since promotion in 2018, and Rashford has just been robbed by Ki-Jana Herver, and then he's come across, chased him down, and then he's rather cynically, I think, chopped away at his legs and given away a free kick, yellow card.
Yeah, I think it was a great reaction initially. He lost out in a challenge 50-50. Herver shown great change of pace to run away from Rashford. Rashford give chase, and I think it's just a forwards challenge. He's probably got a little bit of red mist, but as he's just maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm giving him the benefit of doubt. I've just watched it again, and it looks like he's just acting down like you said, Sam.
Well, look, at the end of the day, he's got a yellow card.
He certainly has.
50 minutes on the clock. 0-0 between Manchester United and Wolves here at Old Trafford. We're just right of the halfway line here. We're about 20 euros from the back of the South Stand, the Sir Bobby Charlton stand here at Old Trafford. And the subs warming up down in front of us and then taking their seats be about 15-20 rows in front of us, actually, all socially distanced and spaced out in the crowd. There's a young Wolves bench tonight. They don't have too many experienced faces on the bench this evening. A lot of youngsters who have made up, because you could have 9 on the bench now. I mean, it's maybe unnecessary to bring so many, but that seems to be the way of things. So alongside Ruddy, Podence, Silva and Semedo, they've got Luke Cundall, Lewis Richards, Owen Otasawi, who we saw against Chelsea, Theo Corbiano, who's Canadian forward, and Christian Marquez.
I think for the young players it's a fantastic experience being part of the match day experience, so that when they do get brought in they're a little bit more familiar with it.
Here is Herver on the near side. He's a young player as well, only 18 years of age, making his first Premier League start since coming from Anfield in the summer. His first start since he played for Liverpool against Shrewsbury in the FA Cup last season. And the FA Cup is just around the corner, live on TalkSport. We've got loads of games for you, including an exclusive commentary from Villa Park as Aston Villa play Liverpool. That's only on TalkSport on the Friday night. Saturday, a batch of games on game day. Sunday will turn into FA Cup game day as well, where we will bring you Marine versus Tottenham Hotspur.
Wow.
Now, I've never been to Marine, but I'm told that they're going to make us commentate from behind the goal.
Wow.
I've never done that before.
Good experience for you, Sam.
I noticed your name wasn't on that particular...
I've played there, so I've been there already. So
Have you? Oh, right,
the
okay.
novelty wasn't there, so they dropped me off that one.
Here is Aaron Wan-Bissaka, right side for Manchester United, lofting the ball into the penalty area. It's been a slow start to the second half. It's easily caught by Rui Patricio, and then it's bowled out on this near side. You know, a lot of the games between these two last season were full of zeros and ones. It was all a bit binary, really. And Manchester United haven't beaten Wolves here in the Premier League since Wayne Rooney and Nani scored 2 each in a 4-0 win 9 years ago.
Wow.
Here is Fernandes lofting the ball high into the air and away from Pedro Neto into a bit of space for Aaron Wan-Bissaka to gallop into, up to halfway. Infield it goes to Pogba. Pogba tries to drive it forward for Rashford. It's headed away by the ever alert Kiana Hoover. John Moss has got in the way again there. Played a little through ball to Vitinha. And now here comes João Moutinho over the halfway line, forward towards the left. Aït-Nouri cuts in, faces up Pogba, tries to come infield. A little touch forward into Vitinha. Referee plays on because Neves has got the ball, and Pogba would have been punished for a foul on Vitinha. Out to the right side, and it's on to Herver, back into Neves. Neves to Herver once again. No one really wants to put the ball in the box because there's nobody in Old Gold there able to win it. The only person in it is Traore, and he's not going to win it aerially. Vitinha plays it along the floor instead into Traore. Pogba does well, tackles him and clears. Moutinho mops up. They're about to bring on Daniel Podence. Clipped forward by Cody, and then half cleared by Manchester United. Not brilliant from Matic or by Maguire, but they get a foul because of the aggression from Vitinha and Moutinho, and they can make a change now, replacing Vitinha with Daniel Podence.
Yeah, he struggled to make an impact on the game. You can understand why he's being brought off, and Podence have been impressed with the way he moves with the ball, and this could pose an extra challenge for Manchester United because they have been relatively comfortable for the most part, but this is a different proposition, and I expect Podence to bring something to the table for this Wolverhampton Wanderers side.
Big goals already this season against Chelsea and Arsenal, only 3 to his name, but he's certainly been alive wire since his move from Olympiacos. Daniel Podence.
Anyone that wears a number 10 shirt should be able to do a bit.
Yeah. I think he certainly can, Trev. In the Championship, bottom of the league, Wickham have doubled their lead over Cardiff. Your old team, isn't it, Cardiff?
Yeah, disappointing that.
Bristol City have got a goal back away to Luton, 1-1 in League 2. Barrow have scored against Tranmere to level things up, 1-1. And you are listening to Manchester United against Wolves, 0-0 on TalkSport with Now TV. And don't forget, you can catch Manchester United against Aston Villa live this Friday with a Now TV Sky Sports Pass for just $9.99.
Big game.
Search Now TV. Yeah, it's a New Year's Day. So usually you'd have a party on New Year's Eve, a hangover on New Year's Day, and then watch the football, wouldn't you? And this year you just play Uno. Here's Podence just over the halfway line. It's interrupted by Fernandes, out to the wide right into Traore, looking to trick his way past Matic. Matic's having none of that.
Good defending.
And it's out of this on this near side, and Traore goes down the camber of the pitch that is on the edge of the surface at Old Trafford and onto the dirt track, and then Manchester United play on, and Fernandes tries to scoop the ball forward. Idea was right, didn't execute it particularly well. Greenwood takes over, cuts infield. I've seen Anthony Martial warming up. Here's Greenwood again, trying to take the ball on. This is a bit more speedy from him. He works the ball out wide onto Wan-Bissaka, stops it, then goes again, produces a cross blocked by Aït-Nouri, and then is it going to go out for a corner? No, it's hooked over the head of Aït-Nouri, and Wan-Bissaka is trying to continue his run, but that's really good work by Ryan Aït-Nouri, the 19-year-old Frenchman over on that far side. He stuck to his task really well and got Wolves out of dodge.
Yeah, good battle, individual battle between the two of them there. Wan-Bissaka having possession, trying to get down to the byline and get his cross in, but Aït-Nouri stuck to his task, like you said, Sam, and really dogged defending that, stuck to his task to end up winning the ball back.
Greenwood's ball into the centre is intercepted by Podence, and now they come forward, Wolves at pace, and Luke Shaw times his tackle brilliantly on Adama Traore. And Manchester United win it back again. A little bit more tempo all of a sudden. We played just over 57 minutes on TalkSport, and it's Manchester United 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0. Where's the key to opening up this game? Who's going to get the first opportunity to break down someone's defence here?
Well, I think the fact that the Wolverhampton Wanderers back line is a lot deeper.
Here's Pogba into the area looking for Rashford. Goalkeeper's going to come and claim this just inside the 6-yard box.
And that's as I was saying, Sam. The defence line is a bit deeper. I think if it goes over him and it beats that back line, I think that's where Patricio comes into play and starts nicking the ball. And exactly what happened there. The ball went over the top for a Rashford run, but because the defence is so deep, Patricio's just cleaning things up.
Goalless. And Cavani, we haven't seen too much of him in this game after Trevor and I bigged him up all day. Telling anyone who would listen he was brilliant against Leicester when he came off the bench. I wonder whether or not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has sort of realised that he's a bit more of an impact player. Here is Fernandes trying to... Oh, there's a stoppage because Podence has been fouled by Matic, so there'll be a free kick inside the Wolves half. We won't be able to continue. I wonder if he could be, at 33 years of age, just a bit of an impact player coming off the bench and changing the game right at the end.
Maybe. I think maybe if the threat's not there centrally, that's why the back three of Wolves have been very comfortable in squeezing up at times. And at times when there's a high press and they end up being quite a deep back three, he's not really getting on a passing lane to receive the ball and linking up like he did when he come on against Leicester. Big
blow for Bristol City after getting a goal back moments ago. Luton have gone up the other end and taken the lead. 2-1 now the score. Our producer Deck wrote that down as Bristol. Big blow for Bristol. That's not going to go down too well at the Memorial Ground, is it? Or Ashton Gate, I wouldn't have thought. Here is Shaw down the left. Although Deck's got a free pass tonight, our producer, on-site producer Deck, because he bought me giant buttons and you fruit pastels.
Vegan, very nice.
Here is Fernandes down the left for Manchester United, trying to prod the ball out wide towards the left. I noticed that he saved the best ones, the Oreos, for himself though. The Oreo bites, yeah.
At least he's looked after the troops.
Yeah. 0-0. This game yet to really spark into life in the second half, as it did towards the end of the first half, where we had several opportunities for both Manchester United and Wolverhampton Wanderers. It was a real open end to the first 45. Here's Fernandes though, looking to open things up with a ball out towards the right, in towards Greenwood, who's dancing towards the byline, tries to get beyond the last defender, who's Kilman, does excellently, steps in front of him and manages to clear. Moutinho then tries to send it long to Neto, but Bailly is there to tidy up. But Kilman did really well on that occasion, closing things down as Greenwood attempted to trick his way into the penalty area.
I know most of us don't know what day it is, but it is Tuesday, and we've got to remember that on Sunday Wolves played against Spurs.
Yeah.
And the day before Manchester United played against Leicester, so
it was a late game, wasn't it, as well, that the Wolves game.
And I think the fact that they have made changes, they've rotated some of the squad members, but the fact that both defences seem to be on top, that could be just a result of players in forward areas just not having that burst of pace to really get the better of these defenders.
By the way, that was the best bit of public service broadcasting you've done all day, telling us that it was Tuesday, because I didn't know. Here's Podence down the left-hand side for Wolves, who's just passed the ball rather seamlessly to Nemanja Matic. I don't think that was the idea, but that's what happened, and it's cleared away by Manchester United before any real danger can flare up in their goal mouth away to our right-hand side. 16 gone in the second half. Pogba dawdling, caught in possession, is won by Wolverhampton Wanderers. Neves pinched it. It's now with Traore out to the right, looking for an opportunity to cross the ball. Herver gets it back from Podence, and then there's space to run into all of a sudden, and he tries to go between Matic and Shaw, and then works its way back out to the right, and Adama Traore, and then Traore tries to take on Shaw, does that, flicks across towards the far post. Moutinho was the one coming towards it, and I tell you what, if it hadn't have been Moutinho and someone who isn't 5'4", there might have been a problem for Manchester United.
Absolutely, good play, good link-up play. They probed down the right-hand side, and you could see there was a hesitancy in putting the ball in the box because they've got no height in that forward line, and what's the point in putting it on Harry Maguire or Bailly's head? So they were quite reluctant to put it in there. In the end, it was a little cut back, ball into the box with an in-swinger with a left foot, and it was a well-timed run, and he just couldn't get there, Moutinho. But that's the only way you can see that Wolves are going to break him down from across, unless you get the big guns up for a set piece.
Well, Anthony Martial is about to come on. Manchester United just gave the ball away rather cheaply there from the goal kick that they were given.
Is this why there's so many question marks still for Manchester United? Because every time they get to a situation where they can really burst onto the scene and kind of make a bit of a mark in the Premier League, they seem to just fall a little bit short.
Well, that is the problem, isn't it? You know, they haven't gone on when they've got to those junctions. Even last season, here's Traore down the right, picked up by Herver in towards the near post. Again, Podence is the only one in the centre, and he's not going to win a header. No. It's away by Maguire. Back on the right for Traore. Infield towards the near side is Pedro Neto, going towards the touchline on this near side and having to funnel back to Connor Cody. Still Martial waits to come on. Of course, Manchester United can go second tonight, and within 2 points of Liverpool at the top of the table with the same number of games played. Obviously Liverpool play tomorrow to go further ahead in terms of matches played, but second in the Premier League and 2 points behind Liverpool ain't bad, is it?
Well, they've got to grab it. They've got to take that opportunity, and that's what we're saying. They keep on getting themselves into this position and then not taking the opportunity to take advantage of it.
A bit like last season when they got to 3 semi-finals and didn't go that next step. Here's a cross into the box though from Bruno Fernandes, aiming towards Cavani, headed away by Walls, but back it comes because Podence couldn't hold it up. Bailly to Pogba. Pogba is 20 yards from the edge of the area. Podence is down screaming in agony, hand in the air. You can see the breath coming out of his mouth from here because of the chill in the air as Pogba threatens to cross it, waits, sets out for Wan-Bissaka, back to Pogba, stops it. Now it's Fernandes who will deliver it into the box. Rashford with a header over the top of the crossbar, and by some margin over the top of the crossbar as well. A wasted opportunity, and here's the change. Martial won, Mason Greenwood off.
Yeah, quite surprised about that, but I think he wants to show faith in Cavani. Edison Cavani is number 9, so I think maybe Rashford might go over to the right and Martial go left, or they may change the shape completely and make it a lopsided attack with Rashford out on the left and Martial up top with Cavani, just to try and confuse the back line for Wolves. But that header from Rashford, just a little bit too high for him. He made sure he got first contact, but he was never looked troubled. Just looking at that challenge again, it's Bailly, who we know is quite fierce in the challenge and sometimes out of control. He just seems to catch Podence on the back of the calf area, and Podence hasn't moved since. He seems to be in quite a bit of pain.
Well, they have got a substitution they can make here with Fabio Silva, who's about to come on. He's just going through the final few paces that he requires on the near touchline. He's being pushed in the back by one of the strength and conditioning staff, just to sort of make sure that his muscles are hardened and ready for battle. But you're right about Bailly. We've seen him, this is 3 times this week we've seen him, and every time there has been at least one moment where he's looked reckless.
I would stay, if I was a Manchester United player, I would stay well clear of him in training. I'm going to say that now. I would be staying well.
You're not joking either, are you? Being serious?
100%. Right, listen, you've got these players, and I don't know if there's any malice in it, but sometimes you know a player is not going to pull out of anything, even when he knows that someone could get hurt. And that's even in training. Yeah, even in training. And for me, he looks like that type of player.
In the Championship, it's taken them 75 minutes, but the league leaders, Norwich City, have just scored against Queen's Park Rangers, a penalty from Tiemo Pukki. A win tonight for Daniel Farke, and I think Norwich will go 7 points clear of Swansea City. Swansea play Reading tomorrow night. We've got live coverage tonight on Talk Sport 2 of Stoke against Nottingham Forest, and Nottingham Forest have just this second scored to level things up at the Bet365 Stadium. Tomorrow, Tottenham against Fulham. 5:30 our coverage starts. It's a 6 o'clock kickoff. Newcastle Liverpool is at 8 o'clock with Trevor and I. Troy Deeney, by the way, doing the commentary with Joe Shannon tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Tottenham against Fulham.
Lovely.
That's why we're desperate to see that game going ahead. We want to hear what Troy has got to say.
Well, he won't mince his words, that's for sure.
Oh no. Saturday, Tottenham versus Leeds, and that's at 12:30 as game day returns. We've got back-to-back action as always round the grounds with Adrian Durham in the EFL from 2:30. Swansea Watford in the Championship is over on TalkSport 2. 5:30 it's Brighton versus Wolves with Alex Crook and David Connolly, and 8 o'clock it's West Brom versus Arsenal, and Trevor's going to be at that one for us. Ball is cleared Over on the far side, Big Sam back against Arsenal again.
I'm getting my miles in before the end of the year.
Yeah. Here is Neto back towards the far side, just to let you know it's the 3rd of January, the 2nd of January Saturday, so that's a new year.
Newcastle game, mate.
All right. Pogba over to the far side. Podence is back on his feet again. Fabio Silva still hasn't come on. Here is Rashford. We're back underway with Rashford moving down the right, looking for Wan-Bissaka. And then there's a clearance by Ait Nouri, who himself had to have a little bit of treatment on a shoulder injury. Now the change is going to take place, and it's not going to be Podence, so he seems to be okay. It's going to be Pedro Neto who is replaced, and on comes Fabio Silva.
Yeah, I'm not surprised about that. Obviously he's playing out of position, Neto, and he's not really taken to it well. He seems to have struggled when to run in behind, when to check and help his teammate who's on the ball and be an option and getting in the passing channel. So he's struggled to adapt to that centre forward role. It's difficult. Listen, if you've not played there before, it's a really skillful position to get used to and know the movements, and you can understand why Nuno's made that change.
It's a bit more like a traditional Wolverhampton Wanderers shape, a 3-4-3, isn't it? But I just wonder whether or not that the change will mean that they get a little bit more outnumbered in that midfield area with Pogba, Matic and Fernandes in there.
Possibly, but I think Silva will have that objective when he comes onto the pitch. He'll have that information. When it's in positions where you feel we're going to get outnumbered in the middle of the park there, just drop a little bit deeper. And they can take that in turns, they can dovetail that. Sometimes it'll be Traore, I've been watching him now, just funnel into that little space, fill that space right in the middle of the park.
Here's Pogba down the right, moving into an advanced position, crossing towards Cavani, and across comes Saiss and just chips it behind and out for another corner kick, just in front of the Uruguayan at the near post as he tried to nip in, and it was good movement by Cavani, but it was excellent defending again by Saiss.
And that's what we were talking about, the free kick that Wolves had. It was too easy to put it into that near post area without anyone covering that area. Saiss seen that area was void, he made sure he filled it, and more often than not you're going to be first contact.
Corner from Shaw in towards the penalty spot, header by Bailly, drops inside the 6-yard box, Cavani tucks it home, offside flag is up. I don't think it'll count. VAR will check it, but the corner was nudged forward by Bailly, diving towards the penalty spot. It dropped for Cavani inside the 6-yard box, and he slammed it home. The offside flag went up very quickly, Trevor Sinclair.
Yeah, I think the only thing you're looking at is it definitely coming off by Eric Bailly? Is he the one who gets the contact on it? I'm just watching the replay now. It's either him or Harry Maguire. There's a couple of touches. It actually comes off Conor Cody's hand, I think, before it gets to Cavani.
Yes, it does. Yes,
so
it does. They should check that for a penalty.
Onside?
I think they should check it for a penalty. I think that I don't know how far his armour was away from his body and whether or not he'd get himself out of the way. That's definitely below the shoulder. VAR would have checked that. It looked like it hit Conor Cody's hand.
Yeah, I think the fact that from the header that either Eric Bailly or Harry Maguire made, it actually took another deflection before it went to Conor Cody's hand, and I think the fact that it's moving about so much, it's just hit him in the hand, he's not knowing anything about it. Okay. I think that's sensible refereeing for me.
Certainly he was offside anyway, Cavani, I think, and that is why the goal has been ruled out, and it remains 0-0 on Talk Sport. But should it have been a penalty? Surely there will be a discussion about that after the game. Here's Martial. They might not need it because they found out on the right hand side Marcus Rashford, but before he can get hold of the ball, Max Kilman comes across and snuffs out the danger right on the edge of the 18-yard box on the left-hand side, cleared away to the right, swept forward by Neves towards the edge of the area, collected now by Traore. Wolves on the attack here, left-footed drive towards the near post, but he dragged it wide of the post after a little deflection, which takes it out for a corner.
Yeah, good positive play again by Wolves. They got the ball in midfield, got a nice little pattern of play to miss out the two midfielders of Manchester United that were trying to defend that situation. Neves ended up with the ball. He ran towards Traore, good pass into him. He drove at Luke Shaw, got the ball in his left foot, and he's thought, you know what, I'll just take a pop shot on his weaker side, and it's clipped the heel of Harry Maguire. Good positive play, and yeah, you can't really blame him for taking the shot on there, because if you're putting crosses in, is there anyone to get on the end of him?
Here is the corner on the near side, will be taken by Moutinho, who's placed it just on the cusp of the quadrant. There's 4 Wolves players all lined up in a daisy chain on the penalty spot. It's whipped towards Fabio Silva, headed away by Maguire. Thunderous header, whipped back in by Cody towards Saiss and tipped over the top of the crossbar by David De Gea. There was an offside flag raised on this near touchline anyway, but it was a very good save by David De Gea, who did not know that flag was going to go up.
Yeah, great save by the cat. Quite comfortable, just under the bar, but he needed to touch it. But again, that's the only time you really think Manchester United are going to be threatened from a set piece, when you've got the big guns up from defence and they can try and make that first contact.
TalkSport, Manchester United 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, and for the latest odds you can head to Betfair, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage, where right now you can get Manchester United to win at 6-4, the draw at 11-10, or back at Wolves win at 6-1, all thanks to Betfair. More ways to bet, more ways to win. 18+, begambleaware.org. Cavani, Rashford, down the right for Wan-Bissaka to chase. Across goes Kilman and allows it to go behind, and rather harmlessly the ball ambles behind and out for a goal kick away to our left. 18 minutes to go. Are we going to get a winner, Trevor Sinclair?
I'm not sure. I think you look at Kilman, Cody and Saiss in the heart of that Wolves defence, and I think they've been excellent. I think they've been really narrow. There's no gaps developing. I think when the ball's on one side, the full-back or the wing-back on the other side is tucking right round, and Manchester United just haven't done enough to open them up and create opportunities, apart from, which we said before this evening, when Rashford makes a run in behind and gets that straight ball in behind the defence. That's the only time they've really looked troubled. Yellow card.
And for time wasting for Rui Patricio, the goalkeeper of Wolverhampton Wanderers. Last season's 0-0 draw was the first and only time he kept a clean sheet against Manchester United. He kept 17 clean sheets since the start of last season, but he hasn't kept any recently, and it's been 8 games since they last had a shutout, Wolverhampton Wanderers, but they are the masters of late goals, aren't they? We've seen that recently in matches against Tottenham Hotspur and Chelsea. Pogba sweeping it left to Luke Shaw, the substitute, in towards the edge of the area. Rashford approaching the ball. Good defending again by Saiss, and it's out on this near side. He's going to be a contender for man of the match, I think. If it stays 0-0.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the substitutes there, just helping the ball down the just off the pitch. There's a little bit of a hill, just helping the ball down the hill, and Bernardo
given away, picked up by Bruno Fernandes, miscontrolled by Martial.
Bruno Fernandes was asking Jonathan Ross, what's going on here?
Didn't ask Jonathan Ross, did he?
Jonathan Ross even.
Might not get an answer for a while. They're on the halfway line. The ball is collected by Bailly out to the near side, and it's now at the feet of Harry Maguire, the captain. The captain just pushes it back into the path of the Serb Nemanja Matic, and the slender Nemanja Matic helps it out to Fernandes, whipped to Pogba, a right-footed shot down towards the near corner, saved and smuggled into his chest by Patricio. It was hit with a real venom from the edge of the box by Pogba. There was very little backlift there, and as it popped up with arms pulling on the back of his shirt, he pulled the trigger, and he really did unleash a hell of a bullet.
It's a great save and made it stick as well, Patricio. It's excellent play by Paul Pogba, using all his physical presence there. He was getting I think it was Fabio Silva was going back to try and nick the ball off him, and he just held him off while he was wrong side and said wait there a minute, and then unleashed a volley which was from about 25 yards. It looked like it was arrowed into the corner, but for some reason Patricio got across, and he must have unbelievable vision, because to make that a stick and hold it first time, I thought it was an excellent save.
I mentioned that Wolves are key in the final few minutes of the game. Last three goals that they've scored before tonight came in the final 5 minutes of Premier League game, but 9 of Manchester United's goals have come in the last 15 minutes of games, so there's every chance it could be they that strike. And here's Shaw into Martial, edge of the area, right-footed shot clatters against Saiss. The ball comes out on this near side, offside flag is up. Who's it up against this time? The problem is that the offside flag goes up so late now, you're not entirely sure as to who eventually it is that they've picked out.
It must have been Anthony Martial, because I've just looked at the repeat of that little action, and by the time he shoots, there's nobody offside ahead of him for the shot, so it must have been
in the previous move.
Yeah,
I was talking to an assistant the other day who was telling me that they are encouraged out to keep their flag down until the end of the move, even if someone is 5 yards offside.
Wow. I mean, that just seems like going against all common sense.
VAR protocols, and of course there are some referees and assistants who end up working in the Championship where there is no VAR, where they're expected to flag immediately, then the next week can find themselves working in the Premier League when they're not supposed to do that. That might be quite difficult. Here's Pogba over on the right hand side, Wan-Bissaka taking it infield, onto Pogba again, back out to the right, and Rashford just a couple of steps in from the right touchline, just back from the edge of the 18-yard box, finds Fernandes, space for Pogba, lays it back. Martial's got all the time in the world, and he's missed the target from the edge of the D. And Bruno Fernandes goes over to him, pushes him in the back and says, come on, concentrate.
Yeah.
That was a big opportunity.
Yeah, it was excellent play. Rashford into Bruno Fernandes, into Pogba, and then the layoff was perfect. It was about 20 yards out, on his right foot, running onto it. Get your body over the ball and hit the target, and he leans back and it just goes aimlessly over the bar. What a waste.
Oh, he's got a lot of space there. A lot of space and time to get that shot away.
It's almost like something you see players doing before a game, where they roll it into the coach, he'll lay it off for him and you'll go and strike the ball. Hit the target.
Completely unchallenged, and he missed the target. And Manchester United have only hit it twice so far tonight, and it's still 0-0 going into the final 12 minutes of the game. Fernandes, Shaw, they're pressing for the winner though. Matic has got it just 10 yards back from the edge of the area. Manchester United will go within 2 points of Liverpool should they win here tonight, and they'll go into second position in the Premier League. Can they continue this unbeaten run? They're 8 games unbeaten. They want to be 9, but they want to put another win on the board here at Old Trafford, where they've only picked up 2 so far this campaign. Ball's loose inside the Wolves midfield. Fabio Silva has been picked out by Neves. He's charged forward over the halfway line. Bailly's gone across. Back in from Ait-Nouri. Back to Neves. Ait-Nouri once again tidying up, and Wolves content to go back to Saiss at the heart of the defence. It's Connor Cody. Manchester United, who find themselves needing to just up the tempo a little bit, I think, in and around the penalty area, just nudging the ball around just a little bit more, because crossing into the box might not work. But here's a ball to Rashford. He's brought it down brilliantly inside the area, right-footed shot, stopped by Saiss again, who's dived in front of his own goalkeeper and blocked the attempt by Rashford. Excellent defending once more by the Moroccan.
And I think he's just offside, but I have to say that out-to-win run by Marcus Rashford is excellent. His timing was just a little, he just went a tiny bit early there, but that is the most threatening move that Manchester United have got.
That's happened so many times tonight,
well,
hasn't it? The ball's just a little bit too early, or a little bit too late, and the run's a little bit too early.
But what top players do is they keep on doing it, and by the end of it they get it right, and when they get it right, can you then go and execute the finish?
Well, that's the key question, and will we see that tonight with 10 minutes remaining? Late goals in the Championship. QPR have pulled one back against league leaders Norwich, 1-1. Huddersfield 1, Blackburn 1. Sam Gallagher with his 4th league goal of the season for the visitors in South Yorkshire tonight. QPR getting one back against Norwich.
Excellent.
Trevor enjoyed that. I don't think it's as spectacular as the goals that you used to score for them.
They all count.
You're telling me that Boxing Day used to bring the best out of you, didn't it? You know, you used to always score a spectacular goal.
I have scored a couple of worldies on Boxing Day, so.
Pogba, back pass in towards Bailly, got caught by Fabio Silva.
That's a naughty challenge, that, Sam. He's right over the top of Bailly, and I think if the referee's seen that, that could have easily been at least a yellow card.
2-1 Blackburn lead against Huddersfield lead against Blackburn in the EFL Championship. Stoke Nottingham Forest continues over on Talk Sport 2. It's 1-1 in that game. Ball is on the far side with Ait-Nouri out to the left, and Fabio Silva, and Bailly's gone for a bit of revenge. And he's going to gobble him up and shoved him out of play.
That wasn't predictable. It's too easy to suck some of these defenders in, isn't it? You leave a little bit on him and you know they're going to come for you.
It was always sort of like a bit of a thing in the dressing room that the wingers and the forwards thought they were the clever ones.
Yeah, and more often than not we were.
Flick round the corner in towards Ait Nouri. Lovely ball by Moutinho. He's into the area. Shot saved by De Gea down low. Pushed out into the 6-yard box, and Maguire deals with it ahead of Fabio Silva. Well, what a chance for Wolverhampton Wanderers. A lovely run down the left. Brilliant ball by João Moutinho to release Ait Nouri, who charged into the box, pulled it back to the edge of the 6-yard box. It was saved by De Gea, pushed out in towards that area, and before anyone in Old Gold could gobble up the chance, there was Harry Maguire to stop them.
Yeah, brilliant run. Excellent timing. Again, Manchester United defence not exactly square. He took a touch. The angle's against him, and you would expect De Gea to save that, but he could quite easily have gone in Fabio Silva's path for an easy tap-in. Great opportunity and a good chance and good pattern of play there from Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Manchester United 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0. A free kick over on the far side is given to Wolves, and they play it square to Neves, tossed into the box by Hervé. It's too high for everybody and runs out towards the far touchline, rescued by Ait Nouri. Back to Moutinho. His delivery towards the far post will be gathered up by David De Gea, and very quickly they'll go on the attack with Fernandes being fouled by Cody. They want a free kick, they're not going to get one. Fernandes is back on his feet again, and Manchester United coming forward, but Wolves are brilliant in getting men back, and they've done just that. Pogba forward towards the near side. David De Gea is down inside the penalty area. The ball has been whipped into the box at the other end, and the ball is still alive here with the Manchester United goalkeeper down and inside the box, needing some attention. Nuno Espirito Santo not happy at all. He used to be a goalkeeper. I thought they were at a little union going on.
Is this his hip again?
The same thing that happened to Leicester on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm not sure
it is.
It looks like he's holding his shoulder or something. But he looked
really,
like... Yeah.
You know, I think it might be his shoulder when he bowled the ball out at speed, you know.
Come on.
Did he bump into Traoré?
Yeah, there's nothing in it. I've just seen the replay. As Traore's probably just running back, and he's kind of run into Traoré, and that must be like running into a brick wall, I've got to say. There's only one runner there, and it's the brick wall.
The other thing is that it was coming from his blind side, so he wasn't anticipating, so he couldn't brace himself, and he has gone down in a little crumpled heap. That's going to smart, that one. It'll be a sore one in the morning. The score's Manchester United 0, Wolves 0 on TalkSport with WeBuyAnyCar.com, rated excellent on Trustpilot with over 80,000 reviews. The Sports Bar is upcoming straight away after the end of the show tonight. 08717 2233 44 is the number to call. Reaction to all the day's football, interviews as well. I think it's Jason and Andy who are behind the mic tonight. 08717 2233 44. Sports Bar is open for business.
Good sportsmanship from Adama Traoré. He went over and just made sure he was okay. I like that.
How nice of it. It's very friendly, isn't it? Here's Martial controlling the ball and playing it out towards the near side. Manchester United looking for a winner here with 6 minutes to go. Fernandes moving forward, out to the right it goes. Wan-Bissaka gets to the angle of the penalty area, a little bit too far ahead of Rashford, gets it back, needs to deliver it into the box. There's bodies in there in red, but he's just been hemmed out over on the far side, pushed towards the touchline by Podence and Ait Nouri, and then Rashford went to try and control it, flipped it, almost lost the ball, and then it goes back to the centre circle, and Bruno Fernandes, who looks to return it over the top with interest, away by Ait Nouri, who followed his marker in. Bruno Fernandes wins it ahead of Fabio Silva, but across comes Neves to get it clear. Traoré can't hold it up. Pogba tries to turn, gets a little nibble from behind from Moutinho, but Shaw has found Fernandes, edge of the D, right-footed shot into the body of Cody, who's blocked it, and it was a brilliant block too. And then Fabio Silva has just edged out Fernandes, and as the ball went clear, the arm came out, and a free kick has been given to Manchester United 10-15 yards back from the edge of the penalty area.
Yeah, a lot more urgency in Manchester United this second half. I think they've been the better team. They've created quite a few chances. That one fell to Bruno Fernandes about 20 yards out. He was ready to pull the trigger. He pulls the trigger, and it's got a great block by Conor Cody, getting himself between the sticks. There's no point in being outside the sticks because he can't affect the ball. He's coming narrow to make sure if it is heading into that far corner, it might have a chance of hitting him, and it's exactly did that. Great defending, but you would think that Bruno Fernandes was hitting the target there, and that could have troubled Patricio.
It was interesting to speak to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer after a recent 0-0 draw here. He mentioned the lack of crowd, the Stretford end that used to suck the ball in these late dying moments of games when Manchester United need a goal. Here's Fernandes from the free kick in towards the near post, headed away by Neves, back out as far as Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Of course, there's no crowd there tonight. Back in towards Maguire, who heads it down, away by Sayus, who's been terrific tonight. Headed down by Shaw into Martial, and now it's collected by Matic, and Matic will play it infield. Back to Matic from Martial. Can they force some chance here? Just a chance would be nice. Most of the ones they've had so far tonight have either been disallowed for offside or stopped before they can get that far. Podence holds it up on the edge of the 18-yard box. Maybe they'll have to defend late on here and stop Wolves from nicking a winner. It's in the balance at Old Trafford. Fabio Silva plays it behind Aït-Nouri.
Aït-Nouri should know his players. I don't think Fabio Silva fancies himself 1-against-1 with Wan-Bissaka, so he was always going to lay that back, but Aït-Nouri looked like he was going on the overlap. Could have lost possession there. Just a little bit more understanding of that scenario of the pitch. He would have stayed wrong side. Nice little layback, and they could have built from there. In the end, it went behind him. He had to keep it in play, and that kind of ascendancy was lost.
There's a bit of a mist over Old Trafford as night gets further in to its wee dark hours. Manchester United hoping that right at the end of this game they're going to get a little bit of light at the end of a real long evening for them. 3 minutes to go. It's on to Martial into the area, tries to go between full-back and central defender, doesn't manage to get anywhere near Joy, and it's cleared away. Back from Bailly, he just intercepts, prods it forward ahead of Traore. Now Shaw's got it again. Oh, it's a poor ball by Shaw, but Neves is on the floor. Rashford round the corner, left by Cavani. Shaw didn't anticipate that, and it's out of play by the full-back Herbert.
I think Herbert and Aït-Nouri have done really well, both full-backs, young players.
Deputising for other players that are a little bit more senior, like Semedo and Marcel.
Done really well, both of them. I think they've stuck to the task. They've let little come into the box, and when it has come into the box, it's been gobbled up by Kilman, Cody and Sace. So defensively wise, up till now they've been excellent.
Towards the edge of the area from Pogba, away by Martinez. Also an extra screen in front of that back three, flicked forward by Fernandes. Hasn't had much room to manoeuvre in, that's why he's dropped deep and tried to lift balls over the top for Rashford all night. They need to mix it up, the tactic.
Well, I think when Rashford makes that run in behind now, all three defensive central defenders are dropping off. That's the time that someone needs to get into that little pocket of space which they're moving out of and try and get on the half turn and cause a problem, because then the three central defenders will have a problem. At the moment, it's quite easy to read. Rashford makes the run, the ball comes, and they head the ball.
Well, Manchester United looking to try and get something right at the end here. Rashford, certainly a big part of what's been good about Manchester United in 2020, making headlines, and once again over the last couple of days Manchester United and their employees have been volunteering to help out the Fair Share initiative in this city.
Brilliant.
150 of them helping out yesterday. Here is Martial onto the edge of the area. Pogba into the box trying to weave some space. Across comes Herver, and he's fouled by Pogba as he manages to get the ball clear.
Bit of rising damp as well for the young boy. I think the intensity, the way that he's played, he's just feeling it in his muscles there, and it looked like he was just starting to cramp up a little bit.
It's a couple of times he stopped and had to stretch out now. Kijana Herver.
He's not got his man strength yet. That's all it is.
He's got to get a little bit of gel on, get a bit of gel on board. I mentioned that Fair Share initiative that Manchester United were involved in yesterday. 80,000 meals have been produced over December by club staff in the Old Trafford kitchens, from 33 tonnes of donated foods to ensure that local children and their families have enough to eat during the school holidays. Well done to them.
Yeah, it's an impressive setup. I was down there myself with TalkSport, and the wonderful work they do.
Martial onto Rashford, flipping the ball down the left channel into the area he goes. Across comes Kilman, tidies up for Wolverhampton Wanderers. It's out of play, and here comes the ball for added time at the end of the 90 on TalkSport, with Manchester United still pressing for a winner in the game. They've got 5 added minutes to try and do so, but they've given the ball away. Martial rather cheaply, one back by Maguire, but it's too hefty, the challenge on Traore. Free kick given earlier on today in the Championship. Birmingham lost 4-0 to Wayne Rooney's Derby County. Managerless Sheffield Wednesday beat Middlesbrough by 2-1. Wickham got a huge win over Cardiff. Huddersfield beat Blackburn. Luton beat Bristol City. Norwich drew with QPR. Preston 2, Coventry 0. Rotherham were beaten at home by Barnsley, and Stoke Nottingham Forest going into the final final few minutes on TalkSport 2 is currently 1-1, although from what I understand no one can see anything because it's very, very foggy in Stoke.
They get some weather there, by the way.
Oh, they do. Here is Fernandes over the halfway line towards the right. It's cut back into the path of Aaron Wan-Bissaka. 0-0 going into the final stages here on TalkSport on a day where West Bromwich Albion have been thrashed by Leeds in the Premier League, and Southampton have drawn with West Ham United. And Shea Adams is going to wake up with a very sore head in the morning. Details later.
Oh dear.
Here is Martial towards the edge of the penalty area, tricking his way into the box, getting it onto his right foot. Was he brought down inside the penalty area? He certainly went down very quickly, but I think he'd overrun the ball, and it's cleared away and out to the far side. Still Manchester United press.
I think that's the problem, Sam. He went down too late. I think there was a clip in there, but he thought he'd actually got through the challenge and he was going to get his shot off, and then he was closed down and he'd lost the opportunity. I wouldn't say the opportunity, but the chance to go down had gone. I think he did feel the contact, but he tried to stay on his feet because his eyes lit up because he thought I'm about 16 yards out and I'm possibly going to get a shot on target.
Someone sent me a picture from the scenes at Stoke, and it looks a little bit like what happens when you've got your mask on and your glasses.
Oh, well, it steams up.
Yeah. Where are your glasses, by the way?
I don't know, I've misplaced them.
Dear, oh dear. So that's Christmas for you.
It is.
We're just having a replay of this incident involving Martial. I think he was the one who did the damage on the defender Saiz rather than the other way around, so no problems there for Wolverhampton Wanderers. We're waiting for the goal kick to be taken away to our left. Patricio again taking his time over proceedings. He does smash it clear. Bailly heads it forward. 0-0 final seconds. TalkSport. 3 minutes of the added 5 still to play here. Manchester United can go second if they win tonight, and they will have to settle for a place in the top 4 otherwise. Here is the defender Hervé, who's making his first Premier League start today. A very impressive performance. Fernandes sending the ball over the top of Kilman into the area. Chasing was Rashford. Rashford's got Cavani inside the box. He's tried to come in on his left foot, gets a shot away, takes a deflection and sneaks in, and Manchester United win it in stoppage time. How many times over the years have you heard that? And Manchester United are grateful to 2020's hero, Marcus Rashford, because just before the new year comes in, they're going to within 2 points of Liverpool and into second position at the top of the Premier League.
And that is what great players do. He's tried that run all evening, time and time again, getting snuffled out. And I have to say, I looked at Aït-Nouri before that ball came in, and I think he was dead on his feet. The ball's come over to Rashford. It's a switch of play, just in behind by Fernandes. It's a Fernandes assist. He's beat both defenders. He's 1 against 1 against Aït-Nouri, who's done superb tonight. He's twisting and turning. He's got half a yard on his left-hand side. It took a bit of a deflection off Saiz, and it's gone in at the near post. It's nothing more than Rashford deserves. He's made that run tirelessly, time and time again, even when the ball's not come to him. He's got the bravery and the trickery to stay on the ball, gets it shot off target, and it massive deflection off Saiz, and it goes in at the near post. Patricio can't do anything about that. 1-0 Manchester United, and this is what we're talking about. Manchester United getting over that line and becoming real title contenders.
It's another game where Wolverhampton Wanderers haven't kept a clean sheet. It's another game where Manchester United have won right at the very end. It's their 10th goal in the final 15 minutes of games this Premier League season, and Marcus Rashford has his 12th. His 51st Premier League goal, a very, very important one. McTominay on, Fernandes off for the final few seconds of this game. But Manchester United are going to go up to second. You have to say now they are in the title hunt.
Well, it looks like that if they can see this game out. Listen, they've been the better side. I was saying it earlier. They've been the better side this second half. They've probed, they've had some good opportunities. Pogba's shot was well saved by Patricia. But they have been the better side, and they look like they want to get over the line and win this game and get all 3 points.
Coming forward again here with Rashford on to Pogba. Pogba brought down by Kilman, free kick. And Manchester United will just see the last few seconds out here. 95 minutes are on the clock. All 5 that were allotted have been played. In that time, Nuno Espirito Santo, whose team, I think, bearing in mind the changes, the injuries that they've had, done so well, doggedly defending all night, conceded the best player on the pitch as far as defensive work has been concerned in Saiz.
Absolutely.
Ended up deflecting the ball beyond Rui Patricio. Nothing he could do about that. And Manchester United are going to take all 3 points and go to within 2 of Liverpool, who play tomorrow live on TalkSport away at Newcastle United. Very much looking forward to that. 1 shot on target, 1 goal for Marcus Rashford. He's the hero again.
And I think the only way you could, the only part, and it's been really meticulous, you could see that Nuri was struggling, and I just feel Kilman left him to it. Whereas if he was a little bit closer to backing him up when Rashford does get that shot off on target, he might be a bit closer to blocking that shot before it gets to size.
Is that youthful, inexperienced 23 Kilman, 19 8 Nuri?
Yeah, maybe. It's almost protecting yourself a little bit, but he's leaving it all to the young defender, and unfortunately he wasn't close enough.
Listen to that. Manchester United are in amongst it now. Manchester United finished 2020 in second position in the Premier League and go within 2 points of the leaders Liverpool, courtesy of another stoppage time goal, this time from Marcus Rashford in the 95th minute of the game, to garner all 3 points at home for only the 3rd time this season. It's a 3rd successive away defeat for Wolves, who are in a bit of a state of flux without Raul Jimenez, lacking a goal threat, but they defended well for 94 minutes. But then Marcus Rashford, as he has done so often in 2020, saves the day. Manchester United 1, Wolves 0.